बच्चे जिन्हें कि सर ने दस्या साडे नाल ऑनलाइन स्पीकर सुहानी शर्मा जी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं जिवें तुसीं हो उवें दे ने पर उन्होंने अपनी इस छोटी जी उम्र के ही जिहड़ियां अचीवमेंट्स ने और जो उन्होंने पैशन है काम करने का ठीक है उस अपनी क्लास के और विद्यार्थी विज्ञान मंथन के 2022-23 उन्होंने टॉप किया हुआ ठीक है। तो ये पढ़ाई के नाल होर समाज सेवा भी करते हैं और म्यूजिक का उन्होंने बड़ा शौक है, गिटार बजानी, तबला बजाना, इस तरह के होर इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स जोड़े ने वो स्टेज परफॉर्मेंस भी करते हैं।
So good morning everyone, my name is Suhani Sharma. I'm a grade 11 student of Delhi Public School, Chandigarh. Today, as we celebrate the National Science Day, I feel very privileged to be invited to give a talk at this prestigious forum, Pushpa Gujral Science City, in the presence of Professor Venkateswaran from IISER Mohali and Dr. Grover, Director Science City. So आज I'll be sharing मेरे insights, experimentations, and innovations that came along with my waste management journey. I hope everyone can see my screen. तो जो बड़े ट्रैश के माउंटेन्स होते थे जब हम दिल्ली को एंटर करते हैं वो हमेशा से मुझे बहुत परेशान करते थे. They would remind me of the horrifying scenes from the sci-fi thriller Idiocracy, जिसमें एक dystopian future को डिपिक्ट किया जाता है जहाँ पर people live in the shadow of garbage mountains that collapse one day, leading to an avalanche of trash. So this is a small video from the movie.
The population exploded, and intelligence continued to decline until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems, like garbage, which had been stacked for centuries with no plan whatsoever, leading to the Great Garbage Avalanche of 2505, which would set in motion the events that would change the world forever.
So, this was a very sad future. And if we don't take solid waste management the problem of solid waste management into our own hands, this could be our future. So I wanted to understand and explore solutions to this huge challenge of solid waste management. I live in Chandigarh, so I explored places in and around my city. And since 2019, I've been associated with door-to-door campaigns for waste segregation in the Mohali region. So we used to go हर घर में हम जाते थे एंड वहां पर हम डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करते थे कि वेस्ट को कैसे सॉर्ट करना है, कि कैसे गीले और सूखे में सॉर्ट करना है एंड कैसे हम घर पर 2 टाइप्स ऑफ डस्टबिन लगाकर कर सकते हैं. तो जैसे आप देख रहे हो ओपन डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशंस हुआ करती थी. We also urged the waste collectors to make compartments in their carts so that they could keep the waste segregated from the point of collection. Also, जैसे गीला एंड सूखे के अलावा भी बहुत सारे और टाइप्स ऑफ वेस्ट होते हैं, जैसे जो सैनिटरी वेस्ट होता है, डोमेस्टिक हजार्डस वेस्ट, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वेस्ट. तो वी encourage people to separate sanitary waste like sanitary napkins and diapers, hazardous waste like biomedical or chemical waste, and electronic waste or e-waste. तो जो वेट वेस्ट होता है, द बायोडिग्रेडेबल्स एंड द हॉर्टिकल्चर वेस्ट, दे मेक अप टू 50% of our household waste. तो इट कैन बी कंपोस्टेड इन आवर होम्स, और हम जो लोकल कम्युनिटी कंपोस्टिंग पिट्स होती हैं वहां पर भी जाकर वेट वेस्ट को कंपोस्ट करा जा सकता है. So this would immensely reduce the amount of waste handling and transportation costs. So on-site composting or horticulture waste and wet kitchen waste produces high quality manure. एंड जो ये मैन्योर है वो या तो हम घर पर भी यूज कर सकते हैं या फिर जो लोकल कम्युनिटीज हैं वो भी यूज कर सकती हैं. तो दिस वुड ग्रेटली इम्प्रूव हमारी सॉइल की क्वालिटी. तो जो ड्राई वेस्ट होता है, देयर आर द नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल्स लाइक कार्डबोर्ड, ग्लास, मेटल, प्लास्टिक, कंस्ट्रक्शन डिब्रीज. So they all form the dry waste. And जब ये different types of waste, they're handled differently right from the source. that makes the recycling and upcycling of the waste much more easier. And जो भी हमारा waste होता है वो घरों से collect होकर material recovery facilities में जाता है which are maintained by the municipal bodies. वहाँ पर जैसे आप देख पा रहे हो वो further segregate हुआ जाता है. तो अगर हम starting से ही segregate कर दें waste तो इन सब की life बहुत easier हो जाएगी and हम proper waste management कर पाएंगे. So I'm happy to share that in Swachhta Selection, Clean India Survey, Mohali को cleanest city in the state of Punjab का award मिला. So if the waste is not segregated properly, the mixed waste ends up at the city's dumping grounds. जो landfills होते हैं वहां पर वो पहुंच जाता है and वहां पर वो इकट्ठा होता है, accumulate होता है and it rots, smells and pollutes. I visited a few dumping sites in and around my city where millions of tons of refuse have been piling up for years. So Chandigarh में 45 acres of land has been dedicated to the landfill site. Mohali में 40 acres and Ludhiana, the most populous city in Punjab, it has 50 acres covered in garbage bins. Our Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 prescribe bioremediation processes to clear up the dumping grounds. So bioremediation होती क्या है? So it refers to biomining or excavating the waste heaps and then फिर उन्हें अलग करना and अच्छे से dispose of करना. So we make use of these machines. So as you can see, यहाँ पर 3 biomining machines हैं. And over the last 2 years, I tried to study the bioremediation process going on at the dumping grounds in Ludhiana. So each machine can sort up to 500 tons of waste per day. So this excavator arm, जो ये लंबी सी arm है, तो it feeds the trash into the machine, and then machine में थोड़ी vibrations होती हैं that help loosen the debris. And then जो ये gradient होता है, यानी जो ये slope होता है, it is used to separate the waste on the basis of its weight. So जो sieving and segregation होती है, it happens through 3 conveyor belts placed in starting positions at different heights and slants. And this process creates 3 piles. The first pile होती है, it's the biosol or bio-earth. It's a fine organic soil with high nitrogen content. It forms a small mound. And the second pile होती है, it's composed of inerts such as gravel with a size between 5 to 20 millimeters. So third pile होती है, वो सबसे बड़ी होती है. It's labeled as the refuse-derived fuel made up of non-reducible, non-degradable waste that's 150 millimeters or larger. So ये सबसे ज़्यादा problem face करवाती है, सबसे ज़्यादा problem pose करती है हम सब के लिए. तो bioremediation, even though it seems थोड़ा simple, you saw कि machines कर देती हैं sort and dispose, पर उसकी जो implementation होती है, like most things, is not easy. The inerts are to be picked up by the National Highway Authority or the state PWD. However, जो action होता है, it's often delayed. Also, the farmers hesitate to use biosol as a fertilizer as they're apprehensive of heavy metal contamination because the biosol, it has been mixed up with all kinds of waste over many years. The greatest challenge, as मैंने पहले बोला, is the disposal of the largest pile of RDF, refuse-derived fuel. It's been spoiled due to mixing with wet waste, and it has lost its recycling value. It could be used as a fuel for industrial boilers, but just the combustible value hai, it's considerably lower due to contamination, degradation, and passage of time. So most agencies tend to compact the RDF and just redump it into low-lying areas. But isn't it essentially just shifting the problem from one landfill to another landfill? It's like आपको लगता है अगर हमारा साफ है तो कोई problem नहीं है. But what you're doing is you're just disposing the waste instead of solving the root problem and actually tackling it. So there's an on-site leachate tank that attempts to capture the liquid that's generated while the machine excavates the waste. So this liquid would have otherwise contaminated the groundwater, but most of it evaporates. But फिर भी जो इसकी disposal mechanism है, it's still very important. तो अगर हमारे groundwater में seep हो जाएगा तो it would make it very toxic. So is bioremediation successful? So you can see 2 pictures, July 22 and July 2023. So they do show some credible work has been done over here. And we need to realize कि जो भी legacy waste है, उसको तो हमें deal करने की बहुत ज़रूरत है. But can we actually really afford to rebuild these garbage mountains of legacy waste? क्या हम फिर से जो ये बड़े बड़े mountains देख रहे हो जुलाई 2022 की picture में, can we really afford कि हम फिर से इन सबको देखें and फिर से bioremediation करें, even though we know कि क्या क्या problems होती हैं bioremediation के साथ? So bioremediation may be useful to dismantle the existing waste mountains, but it's not an alternative to source segregation and proper management of waste. Because source segregation and proper management of waste reduces the amount of waste going into landfills considerably. And that is the real solution. जो हमें घर से ही practice करने की ज़रूरत है. The last year, I got to attend CBSE's National Internship Program, Sustainability Accelerator, where I chose to study the sustainability aspect of waste management. तो उधर हमने live sessions attend किए थे, critical thinking assignments की थी, and हमने बहुत सारे tech, non-tech solutions brainstorm किए थे. And मैं बहुत खुश हूँ to share that from the 6,000 participating students, I made it to the top 10 over 4 months of rigorous evaluations. I attended a fully sponsored internship in Bangalore and have also been offered a special scholarship for a week-long immersion program at UC Berkeley. So let me share some of my findings and learnings from the program. I drew a business model canvas for solid waste management, जिसमें हमने लिस्ट की थी कि कौन से की पार्टनर्स होते हैं, क्या एक्टिविटीज इन्वॉल्व होती हैं, क्या वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशंस होते हैं, क्या कॉस्ट स्ट्रीम्स एंड रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स हैं. I also learned how to pitch proposals. So this is a letter to Elon Musk, convincing him to design and sponsor electric compartmentalized carts for waste collectors. I drew a detailed ecosystem mapping, listing the key stakeholders and the activities involved. And जो मेरी field observations थी with मेरी course learning, I tried to combine them so that I could get a market perspective on solid waste management. So I realized that we need to convert it from a public good to a private good. For that, I came out with a 3D waste management solution. I proposed a business model that aligns incentives from waste collectors and generators. From what I saw, segregation at source required constant campaign. जब तक हम जा रहे थे, तब तक लोग waste segregate कर रहे थे. But as soon as we stopped, people stopped segregating them. So to sustain it, I realized we must reduce segregation efforts and create greater incentives. Jesse, people could be getting pots or compost bags instead of the wet waste. They could be getting fresh battery cells for the e-waste that they give, and they could also be getting sanitary waste for the sanitary waste that they give, as long as कि वो अलग-अलग कर दें waste. So these are some of the incentives that we could provide the generators. तो हमने देखा होगा हम जैसे घरों में ऑयल कैन्स एंड रद्दी न्यूज़पेपर्स अलग से रखते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि हम उन्हें बेच पाते हैं, because they are high value items. So if we could create similar value chains for the so-called low value items like chip packets, toffee wrappers, ice cream wrappers, don't you agree that it would potentially encourage households to maintain proper waste segregation practices? Therefore, I proposed effective implementation of the extended producer responsibility or EPR for low value dry waste. So EPR implies that the producers of these plastic wrappers would bear the cost of collection and processing of the waste generated, hence giving value to the trivial waste. As part of the program, I conducted a user study engaging 10,000 stakeholders across about 100 urban local bodies of the state of Punjab and found responses in support of my 3D waste management solution. So it included distribution of color-coded dustbins to households, incentivizing households and waste collectors, and app-based monitoring. So for the survey, I used Python programming to design a prototype app. I'm happy to share that this study got published in a peer-reviewed international journal. Further, my article has been published in the recent edition of the CSIR publication Science Reporter, and also in the down-to-earth supplement, The Young Environmental. While learning from my field visits and with some lab-based experimentations, I was able to innovate Ecologs, a sustainable waste management product made from cow dung and shredded coconut shell waste, which offers an alternative renewable energy source to the traditional use of tree wood and cremations. So आपने देखा ही होगा कि जो cow dung होती है, it tends to choke sewers and create unsightly urban environments. It causes water and land pollution. Also, जो coconut shells होते हैं, they take years to decompose. A lot of the times they collect water and they act as breeding grounds for mosquitoes and they spread diseases. So this innovation manages waste effectively, addresses public health concerns, and saves trees. Further, this is a very scalable and replicable innovation. We can also use horticulture waste like dry leaves or fallen tree branches. And the lab tests revealed that their overall calorific value is as good as that of. So we were able to convince MC Mohali to set up a coconut shredder at the nearby Material Recovery Center. So वहाँ से we get our coconut shreddings to be put in the ecologs. With my school friends, I raised funds to set up an automatic, semi-automatic machine at the Mohali Gaushala. So ये जो आप machine देख रहे हो, we raised funds for it. And ecologs are being produced in this Gaushala and then they're being sent to the Balongi crematorium. So it's currently saving a lot of trees each and every day. At the State Science Exhibition in December last year, with the theme Science and Technology for the Society, Ecologs won the first prize and is all set for the National Science Exhibition. I was inspired by the Sustainability Accelerator program, so I conceptualized and executed the Sustainability Leaders program. It's an 8-week internship combining hands-on exposure with skill development with a focus on waste management. So the program was launched in August last year with a target to enroll 1,000 students. And I'm happy to share that over 1,200 high school students from over 20 schools have registered on the program websites. I conducted webinars on source segregation of waste and sessions on critical thinking, storytelling, poster making, and public speaking. I gave talks in colleges to expand outreach, resulting in 100+ mentor registrations. The faculty at the Punjab University commended me as their young resource person. The MC Mohali conducted field visits to the material recovery centers and the Gaushala where the ecologs are being made. Through the visits, they educated the students on source segregation, home composting, concepts on the 3 Rs, reduce, reuse, recycle, and so much more. So this program has been a great success in Mohali, and I'm hoping to expand it to other parts in Punjab as well, and hopefully the whole of India, because sustainable waste management practices are something just sabko hi aani chahiye. If we really want to sustain this earth, if we really want to continue living on a clean, green earth, we need to sustain sustainable waste management practices. So my program built a sustainability movement for Clean India mission. The best students in each school and the best performing schools were awarded with certificates, trophies, and books. तो हमारी जो program website है and मेरा YouTube channel @Suhani Sharma 208, it displays resources, my blogs, and showcases the students' work who submitted assignments, wrote stories, made posters, delivered speeches, and participated in community activities. Do check them out and subscribe to my YouTube channel @Suhani Sharma 208 to learn more about my activities. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I am open to any questions now.